Okay, Lindsay. Hey, how are you? I'm not hearing you.
You're not Anita.
No, no. Anita was having audio problems with her computer, so she asked me if I would host.
Well, I'm glad to see you. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. So, I was going to go through the score slides
Mhm.
and then stop sharing and turn it over to you. Is that okay?
That works for me. You know, I'm always good with that.
Yeah, good. Okay. So we got 1 minute. I'm going to start the webinar.
Okay. I'll mute myself and everything so that you can have the floor.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just first couple minutes and then you're on. So I'm actually looking forward to listening in.
I promise it'll be fun. So,
Oh, I know it will.
how many people do we have registered? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, I did not take a look. I apologize, but
Okay.
I did one last week, and they had pinned it to some of the other chapters' websites, and I had 175. So I'm thinking you're going to get a few.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me hit the start button. I should have looked. I should have, but I'm sure we've got a lot. All right, we are going. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. We will take another minute or so to get people on. It looks like we've got loads and loads of people joining us this afternoon, so give us a couple minutes and we will get started. All right, so I've got 12:01. We still have people joining us. We've got a large crew today, it looks like. So I think you're in for a treat. And I'll get us started, and then by that time, everybody will be in. So my name is Bob Cohen. I am a SCORE mentor, and I want to welcome you all today. We're going to be talking about using videos for your website, and I am joined this afternoon by Lindsay Sims McKee. Lindsay, if you haven't heard her present before, is one of the better presenters here in SCORE Cleveland. So welcome. So I'd just like to get started and talk to you about SCORE for a couple minutes, and then I'll turn it back over to Lindsay. So just in case you don't know, SCORE's probably got the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors in the country. There are about 240 chapters around the country. SCORE Cleveland is one of those. And we've got about 90 volunteers here in Cleveland, actually more than that, closer to 100. And there are another probably 10,000 volunteers around the country. And we all work with clients on an as-need basis. What we do is free and it is unlimited. So our mission is really to foster small, vibrant business communities through mentoring and education. So education like today, mentoring one-on-one, sometimes multiple mentors with one client. But the idea is to give small business owners everything that they need to thrive in their businesses and in their business communities, to create family wealth, to create community wealth, and to actually contribute to the financial well-being of the U.S. So you know that small business is really what drives at least 50% of the economy of the U.S. So that's why we focus on that. You can see here that SCORE's been involved in starting businesses, and this is just SCORE Cleveland. On a national basis, obviously, it's much bigger than this, and I know that we've got people on from all over the area. So we've created a bunch of jobs. We have provided a lot of service to all those out there. And we find that anybody that works with SCORE, if they've got a few hours of mentoring under their belts, their businesses seem to be more successful. So as we talk about the subject matter this afternoon, keep in the back of your mind that we have SCORE mentors available to work with you on an individual basis. We are a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. So that is one of the things that helps us to keep things free and unlimited for you. So everything is at no charge. The one thing I did want to show you this afternoon, I wanted to go to our website to show you a couple things about it that are available and some of the great resources that we have. So I am here live, just about. There we go. First of all, if you are looking for a mentor, there's a national website and there are local websites. This happens to be SCORE Cleveland, but if you go to score.org, you can pick any section of the US and take a look at the cities and figure out who your mentors are. So you can go and you can browse mentor profiles, or you can request a local mentor. And if you don't know who you want to request, the best way to do that is to hit that request button and take a look at the form that's here. The thing that helps the best is for you to describe the business questions that you have and the kinds of questions that you need answered. And we will try to do the best that we can to match you up with a SCORE mentor that most closely fits what you're asking for. So again, basically the way this works is based on your zip code, we will assign a mentor that is closest to you within the chapter. And that mentor will contact you generally within about 48 hours to set up an appointment. And from that point forward, you and that mentor will work together to solve your problems and grow your business. So let me go back to the website for 1 second. I'm actually going to just drop back one page and show you some of the resources. We've got templates available. So if you're looking for financial templates, if you're looking for business plan templates and many others, they are located right here on the template gallery. The other thing I wanted to show you is that you can look at workshops and events that are coming up, and there are recorded workshops. So every workshop that we do basically gets recorded. It will either end up on the website, actually will end up on the website. There's also a YouTube page for each, at least for our chapter. So there are a lot of good things that are available to you, startup roadmap, all kinds of information to get your business up and running. So I think that's all I wanted to show you. And I would now want to turn it over to Lindsay Sims McKee, who's going to talk to you about using videos on your website. Lindsay, it is all yours. I'm going to stop sharing and give you the opportunity to bring up your slides.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my, let me see if I can share my window. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so you guys probably saw a little inception there of our screen on screen on screen. Now, before I'm going to try, are you still seeing it, or did you see the screen?
You got me again. You had
okay,
it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get this thing sharing. I have two windows up, and so it's being particular about which thing. But
I get it.
let me pull one. There we go. That'll help. Okay. This is a different challenge for me. I'm usually not particularly challenged in finding my screens when it comes to Zoom and all that, but I have a lot of screens open today.
So while you're doing that, opening your screen, I just want to let you know that we will be looking at the chat. We'll try to stay on as long as we can to answer your questions, as well as the Q&A. So it looks like Lindsay is up and running. So go ahead, Lindsay.
Good, good. So I want to grab everyone before we even get started. So if you've been in a workshop with me before, I'm surprised that you haven't already done this. In the chat, I need you to tell me who you are, where you're from, and what your business is. So I'm going to be talking about YouTube today, and I've got the chat up in front of me. I'm going to be talking about YouTube, and what I need everyone to do is participate. So you guys are going to have a lot of opportunities to chat with me about the various things that are happening in your businesses and all that. And I need tons of participation in the chat. So go ahead, if you haven't yet, pull open the chat so that I can get an idea of what it is that your business is, what you do, all that jazz, while I kind of get started with the workshop for today. So yeah, keep it coming. If you put it in the chat, I also, and if you're on YouTube, I have my YouTube up on a different screen so that I can see all of that as well. So I have it open in a big screen because, as I think most of you know, I like to do show and tell. So if there's anything that you guys put in there that are questions or things like that, I will just hop over to YouTube and show you. Matter of fact, even if you don't ask questions, I'm going to hop over into YouTube and show you. So just make sure that you know that I'm here to kind of give you as much information as possible and make sure that you're having a good experience gathering as much information as you can. So there we go. We got all these people from Indiana and Pensacola and Detroit. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are doing exactly what I need. Kristen is here. I've seen people's names I know. That's great. Okay. So yeah, keep it coming so that I can get an idea of who you are, what your businesses are, and all that. Okay. I keep saying I'm gonna go over to the next thing, and then I don't because I'm so busy talking to you guys. Okay, so let's get started. So my name is Lindsay. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I am the Grow with Google coach for Ohio, but for today, I am your personal Grow with Google coach. That is my job. I am here for you. So whatever needs you have, whatever thoughts you have, whatever feelings you're having right now, I am here to help you with those as we go along. So again, wherever you are and whoever you are, I'm your coach for the day. I love this workshop. This is one of my favorite workshops for a variety of reasons. The first of which is because every single day, every day, more and more people are watching YouTube. Like, no kidding. It's happening at an alarming rate in a good way. Every day, more people are watching YouTube. So over 2 billion monthly users watch over 1 billion hours per day. Per day, people. I said per day. What does that mean for you? It means that if you think right now, but nobody wants to hear about my staging business on YouTube, that's not true, Rhonda. Everybody, there's people, 85% of viewers are looking for fresh content. I am one of those people. So I'm one of those people who watches YouTube every single morning, every day. That's how I start my day. And I am perpetually looking for new things, new people I've never heard of, new businesses I've never heard of, and particularly as it relates to staging homes and things like that for no reason. None whatsoever. I'm not, am I a real estate agent? No. Am I? It doesn't matter. But it's because we love watching new things. And then over 70% of shoppers say that they purchased something because they saw it on YouTube. And again, I can raise my hand and say that I'm one of those people. I bet if I asked you guys to raise your hands in the chat over there, you would be able to tell me the same thing. You are absolutely one of those people who has bought something because you saw it on YouTube. So, and that is not a bad thing. I don't think that's not like a mark of being stupid. I have bought some of my favorite products because I saw them on YouTube. And so this is a good thing, right? And so what I want you to think about is how can that work for you? Like every single one of you, what does that mean for your business getting on YouTube? So we're going to talk about mechanics a little bit, and then we're going to talk a lot about how all of this works as it relates to like your website and things like that. I'm going to ask you guys a few questions as we go throughout the day. It says on here we're going to talk about advertising. We are not going to talk about advertising. We will, but we won't. Like I don't actually think you need to do advertising right now. This is not even what this conversation is about. What it's really about is trying to figure out how you can leverage like video in general and then YouTube specifically, right? So video in general and YouTube specifically, because I already said, yes. Okay. So we got at least a few people who are honest in the chat saying that they bought from YouTube. I've already said that I am the person who does that. So what I'm telling you guys is it's not just YouTube. There are plenty of people who are buying because of TikTok, because of Instagram, because of other video platforms where we actually see something. And then the thing that we saw is so engaging that we want to participate in like the thing, like we want to see it. We've actually I have a 22 and 24-year-old stepdaughters who have bought gifts for other people, who have bought things for themselves from Instagram or TikTokers, not because they were so like enamored with the product, but because they liked the person and wanted to support them. There you go. So this is sometimes not even about what the thing is. So we're going to talk a lot about that because it doesn't really matter what you sell. What really matters is that people develop kind of liking and a relationship with you. But none of this is possible if we don't have a YouTube channel to start with. So in the chat, if you can let's put a number 1 in the chat. If you have a YouTube channel that you have uploaded at least 10, I didn't say yet, at least 10 videos. Number 1, if you've done at least 10 videos. That's it. I want to know who has used their YouTube channel to put at least 10. Okay, good. And I want you to put a 2 if you don't have one at all. Number 2, if you don't have any YouTube channel. Okay, good. Okay, so we got a good mix of 2s. And I want you to put a number 3 if you have a channel, but you've not uploaded 10 videos. Like you're under. Okay, so I figure we have a good mix. We got a good mix of people who are like, I've created a channel, I just haven't put anything on it. Okay, so let's talk about for the people who've not even started, because there's a bunch of 2s in here still. There's a few things that you need to understand about YouTube. YouTube is one of the few social media platforms that you can actively enjoy without logging in. And so because of that, it's a little confusing for people. Like they're like, what do you mean I don't have a YouTube channel? Because they are actively on YouTube all the time, but they're not logged in. So before you can start anything with YouTube, you have to log into a channel. You have to create some sort of login for YouTube. That is just a standard old email address, like your Gmail address or any of those things. You have to log in. So I'm going to log out if it'll let me. I haven't logged out of YouTube in 900 years. There we go. I'm going to sign out. It's like, do you sure you want to sign out? Look at this. It's like, it doesn't even believe me that I want to sign out. I'm going to sign out. Sign me out. Sign out. It literally is like, which account do you want to sign out of? I have 18 accounts open on YouTube. So that's why it won't let me sign out. This is kind of good. So you guys actually see what I mean by all the different accounts. With YouTube, you can log in using any email address at all. So this one here that you see, the Lindsay L. Sims McKee or Lindsay Sims McKee, that is my personal email address. That's my personal profile picture. That's just me. This is the YouTube that I use to watch YouTube. I would not suggest that you use the YouTube account that you use to watch YouTube to create your YouTube channel. Why? Because there's several features that a YouTube channel has that includes the ability for people to see what you've subscribed to and essentially to view what your like most watched are and all that. And y'all, it's not that I'm not watching anything bad on YouTube. I'm watching like regular stuff, but also I also do a lot of competitive research and things like that using YouTube. So I don't personally want my like subscribers to see what all I'm subscribed to, because some of the things I'm subscribed to, I wouldn't want them to be subscribed to. Like, they don't need to see any of that. So I have a separate channel that's just dedicated to people who are there for business, like people who are watching my channel for business. So when it says sign in, some of you understand already that that can be complicated. And I don't want any of you to get confused. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's really not that hard. The most important thing, the only caveat, I'm not going to ask y'all how many of you have a place that you work. But the biggest caveat I'm going to give you is do not, under any circumstances, use your work, somebody else's business that they own, work email for your YouTube channel. I don't care whether it's your university that you go to school at. I don't care whether it's your employer who doesn't care about these sorts of things. I don't care none of that. And none of that matters. That's not why I don't want you to use that email address. I don't want you to use that email address because the second that email address goes away, you lose access to your channel. That's why you don't want to use anyone else's. So you want to have it be an email address that you have 100% control over. So if you are like many of you here, you are business owners, so you will have the ability to use your own business email address or your personal email address. Just do not use an email address that belongs to someone else, because the second you do that, you will lose potentially the ability to access that channel. There are several of you here who work for nonprofit organizations. Nonprofits are really challenging because sometimes, depending on where you are in the nonprofit hierarchy, let's say you're the executive director, being the executive director does not mean you will always be the executive director. And so you might be tempted to use your executive director email address in order to start the YouTube channel. That may be the right move. It may not. What I would suggest under those circumstances is that you start a separate email address just for your YouTube channel. This is the only time I'm ever going to suggest that. Please, if you've been in other workshops with me, you know I will never tell you to start an email address for anything. But if you have a nonprofit organization, that you might have to pass this channel on to someone else, then starting a separate email address might actually be the answer, because then that email address is where all of the YouTube stuff lives. You can give that email address to the next person and not have to worry about it going away. You don't necessarily want to use your personal one because then it'll be tied to you even after you leave the organization. And you don't want to use your organizational one because then if you go away from that organization, the channel's gone. So using kind of a third one that's not anyone's email is a good answer for that. YouTube is like the only place where that is an issue, because you definitely don't want to use an email address where the channel could go away because the email address went away. Same consideration if you have Yes Rich. Don't, please, just big suggestion, not a life issue. Just don't use an email address that's related to like a media company like Comcast or anything like that, because a lot of those do go away as well. So good idea, Rich. Don't use someone else's, don't build your YouTube channel on someone else's land. That's the entire idea. So make sure it's a channel that you have some control over. Now, this is the other thing. For those of you who have had channels in the past, you might be like, this whole create a channel thing doesn't exist for me. So it says on here, go in, log in, and create a channel. If you go in here and you see where it says manage accounts and all that, there is no create a channel available. Like, it just isn't there. And so if you're trying to create a channel when you have a YouTube channel already, like you have an email address, you know you want to create a channel, the create a channel option might not show up here. There is a cheat code for this one. Let me see if I can actually magic it up. That sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to show you guys what I always do. Channel switcher. The channel switcher, if it happens, if I goes to, yes, it worked. So the thing is, if I send you to this, it's not going to show this. So I'm going to give you back here and give you this search. So I'm in the chat. I'm going to chat it to Bob, and Bob is going to put that big gnarly little link that I put there. That's your cheat code. You can just Google, like I did, channel switcher, and then click on the thing that says youtube.com channel switcher. If you already have a YouTube channel, you are not going to see create a channel. It's not going to happen. It's not there. So if you really want to create a channel and you get to your homepage and it looks like this and it doesn't have create a channel options up there, go to the channel switcher, and at the channel switcher, you'll see create a channel. And then that way you can create a channel. You can see it automatically associated it with my literal Google email address. So my Lindsay Sims at Google email address. I can switch accounts if I don't want to create the channel underneath that email address. Just want to make sure, again, that you're using an email address that you want to use. So thank you, Bob. So make sure that link, I think you have to copy the whole thing. I'm not sure the whole link went through when you copied it, Bob. Okay, so create a channel. Once you click on the link to create a channel, the beautiful thing is that there's just 80 million levels of customization. So even for everyone who has a channel, you have access to all of these levels of customization when it comes to your YouTube channel. So if any of you are old enough to remember the old days of MySpace, the bad old days of MySpace, you remember customizing your MySpace page. Your YouTube channel is a lot like that, or like back in the old days of Facebook, where you could still customize a lot on your Facebook page. We don't do that anymore, but we used to be able to customize a lot of things. Your YouTube channel is, again, the same way. You get tons and tons of customization. So let me go to one of the 90 million channels that I actually have. I'm going to go to my channel for my business. So I manage channels for other people. That's why there's so many. I don't literally have this 8 million YouTube channels. So if I go to either your channel over here, or if I click on my little icon there and go to YouTube Studio, the YouTube Creator Studio is where most of the fun stuff lives. I do have channel two-step verification on my channel. So up here, I'm going to give you the little link for all of you who are like, how do I get there? Here's the link. That is the YouTube Studio. Oh, thank you for putting that channel switcher link in there. So the YouTube Studio link is just studio.youtube.com. If you have a YouTube channel, you type that in, it'll take you essentially to your YouTube channel. Inside of your YouTube channel, you have so much customization. It's amazing. So my computer is in black mode. The example that you guys are going to see is all in white mode or light mode. So it's the same stuff. It's just mine is dark. Yours will be light. When you very first get started, you're going to have a wizard that kind of walks you through the process. But if you're like a lot of y'all, I'm sure a lot of you, I saw a lot of threes in there. You started a channel and you've just maybe uploaded one video or no videos, you're not going to get this wizard anymore. So that's why I'm here, is that I'm going to help you kind of figure out what to do. And for everyone who's asking whether or not this is recorded, it's actually live on YouTube right now. So you can go back after this video, after this is done, and watch it on the Score YouTube channel. So that's my favorite thing about Scores. They always put these up on YouTube. So you can just go to YouTube and watch the video on how to create YouTube video. It's this right now. Okay, so customizing your channel. You have 18 million ways to do customization. So if you are inside of your YouTube channel, underneath the little YouTube Studio button, all the way down at the bottom, there's a thing called customization. On that left-hand side, you're going to click customization. And in here, you can customize everything. You can customize your channel branding. You can customize the trailer. You can put up your logo. You can put a banner image. You can put a watermark. All of these layers of customization are available if you scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says customization and it has a little magic wand. So for those of you who are like, what is that? That's a magic wand. So a little magic wand. The first thing you're going to do is customize your branding. Now, there's questions. So I'm going to go back to, what was her name? I'm going to go back to Rhonda. So Rhonda has a business about home staging in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Now, what if Rhonda wanted to start a YouTube channel? I don't know whether she has one or not, but Rhonda wants to start a YouTube channel. If Rhonda has a business name like Artisan Abode LLC, which is the name of her business, she might have a logo for that business. For the branding of her channel, she could use her logo. So she could just put her logo like I put my logo. But if every single video on her channel is going to be her face talking about staging homes or real estate or whatever the number of things are, then instead of putting a logo, she might consider using a face, because branding on YouTube that is associated with people does better than branding that is not associated with people. So if you put your face, you're way more likely to get people to click on it and view your stuff than if you don't put a face. That's just facts. Like, take with it what you will. It doesn't mean that you can't. There are plenty of faceless YouTube channels that do millions of views a year. So it's not that it has to. It's just that when you're first getting started, it's actually a little bit easier on you if you use your face versus if you use a logo. Okay, so Rhonda has a logo on hers. You don't have to use a logo. You can use your face. It's up to you how you want to brand your channel. So even if it is the Artisan Abode channel, she can still use her face as the graphic icon or the picture associated with the brand. Nothing wrong with that either. Just how you want to roll, it's up to you. But you have the ability, very fortunately, to change your mind. That's the other thing about YouTube channels that are awesome. If I wanted to change this right now, I could. YouTube does not penalize me. It doesn't make it so that I can't do it. You can change any of these things whenever you want. You can also choose to put your logo in the picture and then put a branded image of yourself in the banner. There's any number of ways that you can roll on that one. So just giving you the basic idea there. Pictures of people do better than pictures without people, but it's not that you can't have success without your face. You can, but it's just easier, a little bit easier for people if you put your face in there. Now you can customize all of your basic info. This is one of the other things that people in YouTube don't realize you can do. You can change your name. You can change your name twice in 14 days. What does that mean? Like, you know how, again, back in the old days, MySpace, where you could like change everything, or back in the old days of YouTube or Facebook, where you could make up a fake name for yourself and all that, like, you know, the joking thing that people do still on Twitter, like you can do that still on YouTube. Like you can actually change the name of your channel. You probably shouldn't, but you can. Like you can actually make your handle. You can have, again, you can change it back. in 14 days. The only restriction that it has basically is that you can't do it every day. You have to like pick something for a little while and then move, like you can go back to doing something else. This whole handle situation has been a lifesaver for YouTube. I personally, this Renner's Boom TV, that is like the oldest name of my business possible from like literal years ago. Bob is probably like, I haven't seen Renner's Boom in forever. Bob and I have known each other for 15 years. And he knows I had the business called Renner's Boom 90 years ago. But that is not the name of the business anymore. Neither is Lauren Loft Social, but that's the name that I started the channel with. So all of this stuff can change, like the description, the handle, the name of the channel, all of that can change. And you can change it at any point. You can also add in links. You can add in a URL. So if you want to add in your website, or if you want to add in your social media, like you want to put your TikTok or your Instagram or whatever, you can add that in here. And then your channel URL, which does not change, is the only thing that you can't change. So you can change this little @ handle, and then someone can use that to find you on YouTube. Now let's talk about that for a second. People are not looking for you on YouTube the same way that they're looking for you on, let's say, Instagram. So when I'm on YouTube and I'm looking for someone, let me go to just again, youtube.com. And I am going to look up, I'm under my business here. It's perfect. I'm going to look up Score Cleveland. When I look up Score Cleveland, first of all, it's going to ask me about 85 million sports, but I put in Score Cleveland. All I'm going to do here is type in Score. I don't have to do anything but ask the URL. But that's because what is YouTube? YouTube is Google. It's the second largest search engine on the planet is YouTube. YouTube has all of the functionality essentially of Google. So unlike other platforms where, I don't know about y'all, but if I was looking up Rhonda, lovely name, Williams, also lovely name, there are probably 1,400 Rhonda Williams in the Midwest, right? So if I just type in her name, I'm going to be like 80 million people on Instagram. You're never going to find Rhonda. You have to type in the exact right combination. If she has an underscore and 2 numbers behind her name, you're going to have exactly the right underscore placement and exactly the right 2 numbers, because you're never going to find her. But that's because Instagram sucks at search. YouTube, on the other hand, is awesome at search. So if you type in anything close to that thing that you're looking for, the search engine will find it for you, which is great. So people don't need to have your exact name in order to find you on YouTube, because this kind of does it for you. Rhonda knows what I'm talking about. I bet you she run into people all the time with her name. And so I do too, by the way. And so, yes, it's just common enough. But on YouTube, you don't really have to worry about that. And then if you have a channel name like Artisan Abode, again, you're going to be way more likely for people to find you, even if you don't customize that channel link or customize your channel name. You're still going to be found because you've named the title of the channel Artisan Abode. Okay, so you still need to do a little bit of search engine optimization, but it's much easier because the search engine you're optimizing for is Google and not a search engine that's bad. So it makes it a lot easier. So what can you customize? Basically everything. You can customize just about everything. I want to show you an example of what a good channel looks like. So I'm going to go to the DIY creators channel right quick, just to kind of show you how people use that little @ handle thing. So I told y'all I love show and tell. You just put in @ and then DIY creators and hit enter, and it takes you straight to the channel. And the first thing that we see here is the channel trailer, but we see the channel banner, and we have the channel icon here, which is this person's face with the term DIY creators. This is a really good example of how to use a face and a logo at the same time. So this person has put their face on their little icon, but then they have their logo right underneath it. So that's what I'm saying. Faces work, faces work, faces work. So, and his name is in here in the little channel description. He's got his links in there. All of this information, the about, the links, the channel details, all of that is inside of this customization here that I'm talking about. So once you figure out what your customization is, and the again, beautiful thing about YouTube is that you do not have to have all of this stuff figured out today, right now, at the second. This is not going anywhere. It will look pretty much exactly the same in a week or 2 weeks when you go to change your stuff. So like, start your YouTube channel right now. You can follow along with me today in this moment. Okay. And Can we have the channel URL and the custom URL the same? No. Isn't that Yusha? No, they don't do that anymore. So it used to be that like you could customize the .com/ blah, 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 blah. They don't do that anymore. But why? It's because they gave you a channel handle. So with that DIY creators, you have the channel handle. You don't have to customize the URL anymore. It's not necessary because people can just use your handle. It's kind of nice. It's a cheat code so that you don't have to customize your URL anymore. And you can actually change that @ handle, like again, twice in 14 days. So you can change it every now and then, even if your name of your business changes, or if you want to test out your name and then test out your business name just to see which of them works better. You can do that. It's totally up to you. Okay. So you can customize basically everything you're seeing. One of the things that you guys need to think about, again, banner, profile, video, spotlight. The video that's spotlit on your channel is super important because let me go back one, because it helps get the channel going in the right direction. Because unlike a lot of other social platforms, YouTube is one of those platforms that once people find you, often they do go to your YouTube channel. So if someone happens upon Rhonda's channel and they're like YouTube suggested it in their thread for the morning, and they go to Rhonda's channel because they're like, oh my God, I love this lady. Who is she? So they go over to her channel. If she has a channel trailer, which they don't call it that anymore, but that's what it is, a channel trailer, then I can get a much better idea about like what it is that Rhonda offers, what it is that she does. And yes, you have control over that. So your channel trailer or your video spotlight is the video that you want people to see on your channel. Now, magically, because YouTube is very smart, you have two options. You can put up a channel trailer for people who haven't subscribed, and then another one for people who are returning. So depending on what it is that you have that you offer, you can put up a channel trailer that's like, here's a preview of all the things this channel is about. Subscribe, essentially a like commercial for your business, for your YouTube channel. And then after someone has subscribed, they have a different video that comes up. And you can actually set this video to be like the most recent video on your channel. So then that way, whatever you want is what the featured video is. If you don't set a second one, it's just going to stay the same for everybody. And then you have the ability to set a for you section. Y'all, this is custom. It is actually going to recommend to viewers based on what they have viewed in the past, what they should view on your channel. Y'all. And then you have the ability to customize sections. You can have short videos. You can add sections according to the playlist that you have, all of these things. So let's talk about channel organization. So again, all of the channels get the opportunity, the same opportunity everybody else gets to organize your content. What is a pronoun used for under customization? Pronoun or customization, like where? Under customization. I mean, I'm sure there is a pronoun under customization, but I think it's only just what you want to call yourself because there's no other identifiers. Like it's your channel name. It doesn't, again, none of this has to be personal. This can all be branded according to your business. You don't have to put your name in here anywhere. But if you want to clarify that question, you can. I'd love that. Is there a way to develop a YouTube channel and not make it public? Yes. Okay. So yes and no. Edward, I would say that you are concerned about a problem that isn't real. This is like whenever people are like, I want to develop my website because as soon as it goes live, 80 million people are going to look at it. That's not going to happen. So the answer is, Edward, don't even worry about it because the reality is the first few, let's say weeks of your YouTube life, no one is going. People do not find your YouTube videos just organically because you created a channel. That's not going to happen. What will happen is that you will start promoting it. We'll talk about that in a second. And then people will find you and then they'll start finding you more once you start promoting it more. That it does happen. So yes and no. You can make certain changes on your YouTube channel without them going live. There is a little publish button here. So you can make edits and things without publishing them. But I would just suggest this tiny bit of bravery. The reality is I am a huge advocate of imperfect forward motion, meaning I'm going to take steps as you see on my own YouTube channel, which is live and has been for years. My little channel description is all over the place. I have 3 different business names in here. I use this YouTube channel all the time. I literally put videos up here for clients on purpose. And it is a complete mess. Like it's not at all the same. Don't worry about it. it's not as big of an impact on you as you think, especially if you're using the YouTube channel to connect with your customers. It's a whole different ballgame versus if you're trying to connect with an audience in order to become a YouTuber. Now you can, I have no problem with that at all. That's absolutely fabulous. But that's a whole different ballgame from those of us who are business owners who are trying to create a YouTube channel that is going to help drive business. That's different. So we kind of have different things that we want to use our YouTube channels for. Okay. Okay. I love it. Okay. So organizing your channel. If you organize your channel, it does something very specific. It helps create binge moments. What we are all trying to do with YouTube for everyone, regardless of whether you're trying to earn money directly from YouTube or if you are trying to get people to know, like, and trust you so that they will buy your stuff in real life, your products or your services. Getting someone to watch multiple YouTube channel videos from your channel is huge. Because if you can get them to do that, then you can get them into a relationship with you, potentially subscribing to your channel, potentially reaching out to you on your website. All of those potentialities open up if you get them to dive in. How do we do that? We do that through channel organization. One of the best things that YouTube has given us is the ability to lay out our channels in any number of sections that we want. So if we go to DIY Creators, he has a very good, very well laid out channel. The first thing we see is just videos from the latest forward, right? So it's going directly in order from the most recent upload forward. And then he has them set up according to playlist. The next one is DIY furniture and builds, because that must be one of the things. He's got millions of views on these DIYs. So they're very, very popular. Then he has sets of playlists. He's got outdoor projects, home improvement, shelves, palettes, stuff from palette projects, tips and tricks for woodworking, resin projects. These are all playlists. So he has essentially a little playlist scroll of playlists. And then he has tools. So an entire playlist of tools. So if you found him because you're interested in kitting out your garage, because you're going to make your own workshop, here's a whole playlist about what tools you can do. Woodworking for beginning, if you were interested in becoming a woodworker, popular videos, if you're just interested in watching the things that other people think are really cool. All of these things are laid out in a playlist. It's amazing. The videos from 7 years ago, videos from 3 years ago. This does not have to be like everything that's happening most recently. This guy is leveraging playlists to get you to watch videos that are 7 years old. It's amazing and extremely smart. So if you're finding his channel brand new today because you were looking for a new creator, now you have all of this stuff that you didn't even know existed that he's pulling up for you that you wouldn't have found on your own. So think about it that way. Like, how can you create that kind of journey on your channel, especially for those of you who answered number one, that you already have videos on your YouTube channel. Now, how can you organize them so that they make sense? Now, let's talk about creating content. Yeah. Creating content does not have to be hard. It used to be that creating YouTube videos was like a whole production. You had to have literal production skills or people with you to do things. Nowadays, you don't even need a tripod. I mean, all of us have some sort of device that acts like a tripod in our life right now, and your phone. That is it. What's really important is that you have some sort of story that you're trying to tell. Because when YouTube says, or when the stats say that people are looking for new videos, they're looking for new creators, what they're really looking for is a new story. What's the new story for today? What's the thing that is going to pique my interest today? What project am I interested in learning about today? That's what they're interested in. So you have to figure out what story you're telling. What's the purpose of the video? And then who is the star of the video? The star of the video does not have to be you. It can be the project. So if we're looking at this young man's channel, what's his name? Glenn. We're looking at Glenn's channel. The star in a lot of these videos is not him. He is not the star. The project is the star. The tools are the star. And so you have to figure out what the star is and then focus on that thing. And that is going to help you be a much better creator. How often do you need to post? Thank God. That is not something we need to worry about on YouTube. You do not need to worry about, if I don't post 2 times a week, I'm going to lose my subscribers. YouTube is not like that. Very fortunately, you can post as often as you want or as seldomly as you want, depending on what your goals are, right? So I have followed several YouTube channels that have business owners, they're business owner channels, and they do post dumps, which means that every quarter they'll go into YouTube and drop like 20 videos. I would not necessarily recommend that you do 20 in a quarter, but they're like the entire, essentially all of the videos that they would want to post for the whole quarter, they put them all out there on one day. And then they don't post it all for the rest of the 3 months. That's perfectly legitimate. You do not have to post every single month or every single week. But just so that we're clear, you can. YouTube actually has the ability. I'm going to go to create a video, and I'm just going to select any video file. Let's see if there's one on my computer. I don't usually, I'm on a computer that I don't have videos on. So there might not be. Here's one. I'm going to upload this video. Again, this is just an example. So with this video, you have the ability to schedule this content. So right here, we can put out the thumbnail, write the description. It's going to give me the option of which thumbnail I want to choose. If I want to assign it to a playlist, I can assign it to a playlist. Is this made for kids? No. Don't put yes. It actually restricts your video. Do not say yes unless you want it to be restricted. So no, if it's not made for children. Is it restricted to people over 18? Again, unless it's like pornographic or something, no. And then you hit next. In the end, no. It is going to give you a little checks, make sure the video is great. And then you have the ability to schedule it. So if for some reason you do create a bunch of content at once, which I personally think is a great idea, and you want to make that content go out one video a week over the next quarter, so you're going to do 14 videos or 15 videos that are going to go out once a week over the next 3 months, great. You can do that inside of YouTube. You do not need a third tool. You don't need nothing. You can do that right here inside of YouTube. It's fantastic. So if you do have videos that you want to go out at a certain period of time, you absolutely can, just inside of YouTube. Now, I want to go over a few different story options. Yes. Okay. We can talk about that. Or I want to go over a few different story options because there's a lot of you who are probably thinking that you don't have a lot to talk about. Like if you're Rhonda, I'm going to use her as an example again. And you're like, how can I do a video, 15 videos about staging, like home staging? Stop thinking of it like 15 videos about home staging. Think of it in 3 different categories. You have business stories, which is stories about you, who you are, what you do, why you do it. And then you have product stories, which are products that are videos that are explaining different products and services and the benefits and how you're solving a problem. And then you have promotion stories. These are stories that are usually time bound, meaning that there's something specific that you're promoting, a certain deal or something like that. Let's roll back to business stories. Very, very fortunately, YouTube loves, I'm going to give you a number. Please don't marry it, but it's a great number. 7 to 10 minutes. Your 7 to 10 minute videos is like a YouTube sweet spot. It's long enough for people to feel something about the content, but short enough for them to not be bored. And so if you're thinking, I'm Rhonda, how do I make 15 videos about home staging? You're not making 15 videos about home staging. You're going to make 5 videos about your business story. So you might make a video that's like, how did I get started in staging video, right? That's just you, not about your business at all. That's how did Rhonda get started? And then you might do another video that's like, how did Artisan Abode come into play? How did I start that business? Now we're talking 2 business videos. So again, we're talking about the different levels of a business story. And if again, you don't want to talk about yourself, you don't have to talk about yourself. You can talk about the different ways that your business came into existence, the different mentors that you had. These are all things that someone cares about. As much as I always joke and say people do not care about you, that's not true. They do. And what they really care about, though, is not like accolades. What they care about is your story. Like, I've been on the cover of a magazine. No one cares about the fact that I've been on the cover of a magazine. The story there is that I was on the cover of a magazine and I didn't know I was going to be on the cover of a magazine. I literally had no idea. I did an on-site photo shoot, had no idea that the pictures that they were taking was going to go on the cover of the magazine. Isn't that crazy? That's a story. And that's just one story about me as a business person in the business that I have right now. So when we talk about telling the stories, think about what those things are that people actually care about, not like just the accolade, but how did it come to be? How did you end up celebrating? Did you forget all about it? Did someone else ask you? Like, I have a story about my husband who was told me the other day, like it was a few months ago. He was like, "You have so many opinions about financial policy, like you know anything about it." And I was like, "Oh, I forgot. He's not known me my whole life. He doesn't know that I have multiple degrees in economic politics. None. No, he didn't know that." And so I had to like remind him. And so that's one of those things that you can remind people. Like I could do a video about how does someone who did all this research on economic policy end up doing marketing for a living? That's a video. It's a business story. Same thing with your product stories. So if you do staging, there's 18 million types of staging. There's staging for the different rooms. There's staging for different types of homes. There's staging for different sizes of homes. There's partial staging. There's just like how to protect the stage materials. There's all of these different things within the product story itself. Each of us has these. This is not special for staging. As you all know, I don't know Rhonda. I've never been to Ann Arbor. I have no idea what her business is. But that's how obvious it is that there's so many different stories. And then every single time you have something to promote that's actually a promotion, you can create a video for the promotion as well. So again, layers upon layers upon layers, right? It's not about trying to figure out how to tell one story 15 different ways. It's the reality is that you have tons of stories. You do. You just need to think about what those stories are and then how you can tell them in 7 minutes, not 4 hours. If you could do it, if it could take an hour for you to tell the story, it's really like 6. It's not one story anymore. And that's kind of how you know whether or not it's really is it a 7-minute video? If it's not a 7-minute video, it's multiple stories. Now you have multiple videos that you can create. Absolutely. Okay. For every single one of your YouTube videos, think about how to make it clear what the story is. So, like I said, my story about being on the cover is not about being on the cover. The story is about not knowing that I was going to be on the cover, right? That's what makes it interesting. How do I make a 5 to 15-second first impression? That first 15 seconds of the video, super important. It's the thing that keeps people from clicking away. So, how do we make that impression? Sometimes what you have to do is shoot the whole video and then find that 5 to 15 seconds that's like you cackling loudly at yourself over something insane, or you saying the one thing that you're like, this entire video is about this, and editing that to the beginning of the video and then doing an intro and then doing the video. And then make sure, because we are business people, that you are delivering a call to action. Your call to action can be simple. Watch this video in order to learn what I did after I was on the cover of a magazine that I didn't know I was going to be on the cover of. Watch this video to find out more about my journey from politics to marketing. Watch this video to learn how to stage a bathroom when you have a budget of $10. That's what that call to action is. And you can also do a call to action of go to my website and download the step-by-step guide on how to stage a bathroom on a $10 budget. Like, it's free. Go get it. That could be your call to action, or the link is in the description. Go to the description or rate a comment below the video telling me about some story when you were surprised by media. Whatever the story is, make sure that you have a call to action that is related and that people actually care about. Very, very useful. Again, I know some of y'all scared about getting on camera. So I don't want you to feel like you have to be the focus of the video. We were just talking about me and Rhonda. I think Rhonda should be the focus of her video, but the rest of y'all don't have to be the focus of her video. You can do voiceover videos. You can do point and shoot videos, which is videos where you're behind the camera instead of in front of it. You can do action videos where you're actually showing other people in action. One of my favorite genre of YouTube videos is house tours. And I personally, y'all, this is silly, I love house tours where the person who is giving the tour does an introduction and then shuts up and shows me the house. Like, I don't want to hear your commentary on this floor, mostly because I'm likely to find it stupid. And so instead of me listening to your commentary, I don't want to judge you. I don't want that. Just don't talk about the floor. Just let me see the floor and let me judge for myself. Because if you tell me what you think about this floor, We gonna disagree, and it's gonna be a whole thing. And now I'm gonna question my whole life. Why am I watching this video? And so there are some people though who love the videos where people are talking all the way through it, where they're behind the camera and they're narrating. There's a lady who has a organizational channel. She does a whole everything she does at home with Nikki is the name of her channel. She does tons of home organization. I love it. She always points and shoots, talks behind the camera. I love it because I love her style and I don't disagree with her. So I love her. I love hearing her talk about stuff. So you can do that. You can also do text-based videos where you're actually having the video do the like telling for you, so you're not doing it all. And y'all, with AI, you can do AI voice videos where the voice is completely AI. It's not you talking at all. And it's absolutely possible with just about any type of video content. So there's tons of ways to do content. There's also hands only. Like some of my favorite videos are people who do like planning videos where the only thing I ever see is their hands doing the thing. There's just so many ways to do it. So don't get bogged down in the idea of being on camera. Now, before I get into this last little tips about lighting and sound and all that, I want to answer Edward's question about older videos. If you would like to move them to a new channel and things like that, are there advantages and what kinds of things are inappropriate for children or appropriate for children? Let me just make some clarity around that. First things first, I do not advocate people switching videos off because they simply don't like them, or oh my God, I hate my voice in that video or whatever. I don't know. Like, y'all, we are hyper judgmental about ourselves. It's true. It's just is. We are way more judgmental about ourselves than other people are. So your worst video is by no means somebody else's least favorite. Let's just put it that way. If you have a reason, like the old videos no longer align with whatever your channel is about, then you can hide them. There is a setting. Let me see if I can go into my content. And there is a setting where you can make a video unlisted or private. You can do that with any content. And you can also change those settings on a regular basis. So if I set it to private, then it is now private. No one can see it but me. You can do that with all the videos that are old on your channel if you want to. Totally up to you. Again, I'm not advocating in one way or another. And then if you want to remove videos or only have them on another channel, that's fine. If you want to start a brand new channel, that's the reason why I showed you the channel switcher. Start a brand new channel. That's also fine. I've done that. Like just abandon the old one and move on. Do something new. Why is this children thing an issue? So the reason why you want to make sure your settings are appropriate on video content, I don't have it open anymore, is because videos for children are restricted with advertising. This is a very specific thing because YouTube kind of got into trouble around the idea of targeting children and how easy it was to target children with advertising and things like that. So now there's a lot more laws around that and the ability to target them and what content kids are allowed to see. Parents essentially can let their kids watch anything. That's a different question. But if you're making content specifically for children, they treat it differently. You are very likely not making videos specifically for children. You may be making videos that is family content. You may be making videos that has things that might be attractive to children. That's fine. But if you're not making videos, literally, like if you're not Cosmic Kids and you're making YouTube videos with yoga for children, then you're likely not making videos for children. So like, it needs to be specifically for kids, in which case then you mark it as specifically for kids. You can have universally accepted content and then it's just universally accepted content. That's fine. You only want to market for kids if you're literally, if this is cartoons made for children, if this is like, if your content is literally made for kids. And when you do that, you do get access to like YouTube Children and that sort of thing. So it's not like some hyper restrictive thing, but it does restrict advertising and things like that will show up on your video. So hope that, yeah, if you change your business name and all that, feel free. Go ahead. Now on this slide, we got space, lighting, and sound. The most important thing is sound. If people can't hear your video, they won't watch it, period. I've watched 80 million poorly lit videos. I have watched videos of people who had a dog throwing up in the background. Like, it doesn't matter. If you can't hear the video is when it becomes a problem. So make sure your sound is on lock. If you have or want any audio, there is an entire audio library, all downloadable content, and it is free, no attribution required. They have a sound effects library. There's all sorts of fun stuff in here, y'all. It's completely free. And again, like I said, you can download it. So if you love this, you can literally download it and use it in your video. So if you're like, I don't want to use video content because YouTube just be demonetizing people because the internet told you that lie. There's audio available and it's free. You don't have to use one of those paid services if you don't want to. Like I showed you already, adding videos is extremely easy. Title them, describe them, add your thumbnail, create subtitles. You can do an end card. You can use Canva to create the little pretty end card thing that you see everybody else using. Just go into Canva and type end card. They actually have little templates for you. It's really great. And then from there, you're good. You can determine how you want that video to be seen. You want it to be public, you want it unlisted, you want it private, and when do you want it to come out? That easy. YouTube is not hard. The hardest part is the next part. Well, not shorts. Shorts is also not hard. Shorts are only available on your mobile device though. So that's one of your biggest issues with shorts, is that you have to upload them using your phone. You don't have to create them with your phone, but you do have to upload them with your phone. And they need to be less than 60 seconds. That's pretty much it. You can watch shorts on TV now, which is great. So if you're interested in doing shorts, and there are plenty of people who have shorts only channels. What's an end card? Y'all, that is a very interesting question. Let me see if I can go back to a video that I'll have to play it without audio and mute it because he will likely have an end card. All the way to the end. It's at the end. There it is. At the end of the video, this is an end card. This right here. So this little thing that has the video you can click on here, and it's got his logo and it's got his face here, and you can subscribe to his channel. That is an end card. Anyone can create this. It is completely visible to anybody who's watching his YouTube channel. And you would just go to, like I said, Canva and download a little thing to show you how to create an end card. YouTube Shorts, they are huge. YouTube is promoting them still like crazy. So please, if you're interested, if you're creating reels already, if you're on TikTok, you can just repurpose them as YouTube Shorts. If you're interested in learning more, like you want to kind of be a creator, there are lots and lots of creator availability. Let me see if I can grab this. Yes, YouTube for Creators link. This is a really good option if you're interested in becoming a YouTube creator, like potentially earning money off of YouTube. This channel is great. It gives you more information about how to do that. I'm going to give you a couple of next steps and then I'll let you go. Get a channel, create your video, and explore your additional options. I know it sounds silly. That's like, that's it. Yes. Y'all just get out there and do it. Like that's half the game. You cannot have someone else upload videos to your channel without giving them access to your channel. That is a great question, Edward. So before I let you guys go, I want to know from you, what are you going to do with this information? So everyone give me in the chat, what are your next steps? What is the thing that you're interested in doing next, taking your business, your YouTube, how are you going to take all of this to the next level for yourself? Now that you have an idea of different types of stories you can do, different ways you can customize your channel, how you can create playlists, what are your next steps? I want to know from everybody, what are you going to do? Thank you. Love it. Alvin, he's going to get to it and make some videos. Thank you. He's going to get started instead of just talking about it. I love that. I love it. Keep it coming. What are you guys going to do? Plan out your videos. That's great. So since you know, everybody knows now that you're scheduled, yes, get a microphone. Y'all, fee fine. There's a microphone. It's like $20. It's the one I'm using right now. It's fantastic. Get it on Amazon. Change your YouTube banner. That's great. So you have a lot of things. Go rewatch this video. It is currently live on the channel for Score. So you can go back and watch it immediately. Yes, Stephen, organize your videos. Love that. If you have videos already, organize your video. Fee fine. I'm going to type it in. Fee fine. These microphones, like literally $30. I think that's the one I have. So fee fine. They're great. They're cheap and they get the job done. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. I appreciate it. I will give you and Bob your time back. Let me see if I can stop sharing. Yes. There we go. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Oh, you're muted, Bob.
Thank you, Lindsay. I said it twice. Really appreciate it. I learned a lot today. I'm going to put the SCORE YouTube channel in the chat, and you all can go on and take a look at this again. It won't be edited, and so it's going to be ugly in the beginning, but it will be edited within the next couple of days. So feel free to do this. But just so you all know, we will be sending out a recording to everybody that's on this call. And typically we might be sending out the slides as well. I'm not sure, but expect something in the next few days. So I appreciate everybody joining us. I know everybody's got a tight schedule to keep tonight. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you on more SCORE Cleveland workshops.